Okay, guys, we got a special segment for you tonight. We got a gentleman who I just heard about tonight, but I did my research.
First time,
but I did my research, and I was surprised to see, all the things you've done. I mean, invested in over 100 companies. The different segments that I found online with you, I was excited because I was able to understand the way you was talking. I'm fairly new into the crypto space, about 2 years, and sometimes some of these guys, I hear speaking and I can't understand a fucking word they're saying. It's like, I need a library to understand what the hell they say. But when you speak, it was like something I could understand, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
you're welcome.
So guys, we have Mr. Scott Walker for you tonight. And he's gonna tell us a little bit about DeFi 101.
So a quick background for the various degenerates here tonight that haven't been to one of my previous, Crypto Monday presentations, where I tell the boring story of how I got into this crazy space. So I started mining this stuff back in 2012. My partner and I we bought a bunch of miners, kind of early in the day. They became obsolete. We decided to stop mining. We decided to start investing our Bitcoin into various shitcoins, starting with the very first ever shitcoin ICO. Not many people can actually say they launched the first ever shitcoin. It was me, okay?
Nice.
Yeah. It was called Mastercoin, okay? This happened in June of 2013. We sat on the board of directors, Brock and I and Jonathan Yantis, and we helped the Mastercoin Foundation draw up colored coins on the Bitcoin blockchain. It was a really interesting concept. It didn't do exactly what they thought it was going to do, but they did some cool things. And if anybody here, has anybody heard of Tether? Okay, so Tether today is on the Mastercoin blockchain, okay? It's not on Bitcoin. So it's actually so it did some interesting stuff. It's now called Omni. It's a long story, but anyway, we go back, almost 10 years in this place, and here's what I really like to explain to people. I've been doing this shit forever. I mean, literally forever. And I learned about DeFi completely by accident. I've been investing in early stage shitcoin projects since 2013. It's now 2021. So I've been doing it a long time. I've invested in a lot of crap. Some of it turned into really good stuff. Some of it turned into really crap. But
the really good stuff was good.
yeah, it is. It turns out really good. So if you can make lots and lots of bets, get into early stage investing, and it's a great long-term strategy for for how to work in the crypto space. But by pure accident, I learned about DeFi, and actually the way it happened, one of my funds that I'm a GP or an LP in a number of different crypto hedge funds. Some of my partners are here tonight, and one of my funds is called A195 Capital, and I mean the probably greatest shitcoin investor in the world is Ben. And he came to me about a year ago with a new investment in this thing I'd never heard of in my life called Frax. Frax is the name of the shitcoin. And it made no sense to me, but Ben liked it, so I'm gonna do it. So sure enough, he tells me, do you know anybody at Frax? It's a super hot deal. We don't have any access. Can you get in? And so I'm like, who's the CEO? Sam Kazemian. Absolutely, I know Sam Kazemian very, very well. I've known him for many years. I helped him launch his previous shitcoin. and he made lots of money, and he's a super successful guy. So we get in, we invest, and suddenly, out of nowhere, I go down the DeFi rabbit hole. This happened for me about 12 months ago. So what I'm telling you, if you're here today learning about DeFi for the first time, you're so ridiculously early, I don't even know how to explain it. So I'm going to spend about 15 minutes on DeFi 101, the basics. Over the next few weeks and months, we'll get some actual experts, guys that really are deep down the rabbit hole, that are going to come here. And like, for anybody that's, really, really into this space, they can teach you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to teach kind of beginning first steps about how to start with DeFi. So my DeFi 101 class, unfortunately, I have a crappy laptop, so I can't put it on the big screen. So bear with me. Here are the tools that you need to become a DeFi farmer, okay? Literally, there's basically 3 things that you need to do to get started. First question, how many people in this room do not have MetaMask on their laptop? Raise your hand. If you do not have it, 1, 2, 3, wow. Almost everybody has MetaMask. Okay, the first thing you need to do is download MetaMask. It's a free download. Once you download it, just simply write down the seed words that they give you. Those are the words that you need to keep safe and secure in the event that you lose your laptop and you can't log into MetaMask for one reason or another. Those seed words are very similar to the seed words that you use for a non-custodial wallet or a hardware wallet. How many people here have a Trezor or a Ledger hardware wallet, if you do have one? Okay, about half the room. If you have MetaMask and you don't have a hardware wallet, you're making a ridiculous mistake. Stop it immediately, okay? And buy a hardware wallet. It adds an extra layer of security, an extra layer of protection, and it will prevent really catastrophic shit from happening to you. How many people today saw today, it's just a really interesting story. A really large exchange called Bitfinex was sending a $100,000 USDC transfer to another company, okay? Exactly how this happened, I don't know, but they wound up losing $23 million on the transaction. 23 million, because there was an error in the transaction fee that created a 7,676 Ethereum transaction fee to make that trade, and they didn't catch it. And so extra steps like owning a hardware wallet, Trezor and Ledger, they're really easy to work with. Buy one. Buy them from the original seller. Don't buy used ones. Don't get them from your friends. Even if you trust them, the things that you put on that Trezor or Ledger wallet are cash. You can't get them back. And again, you'll need to learn about seed words. I'm not going to teach security today. Most of you guys already get it. But please, own a hardware wallet. Now, once you've downloaded MetaMask, this thing is a browser extension. It lives on your browser. If you're going to be starting in DeFi and doing DeFi trades, there's a number of different ways to do it. The best way, especially for beginners, is to start with stablecoins. I love stablecoin trades because there's a very, very limited risk of losing all your money. And I can't tell you how many of my friends, okay, I have 2 types of friends in the world, okay? One are friends that invested in my stupid ideas over the last 10 years.
And they're still your friends?
Yeah, most of them are still my friends. The others are ones who didn't. And the guys who are my friends, who I kept telling, just buy a Bitcoin and leave me alone. Just buy a Bitcoin and leave me alone and talk to me again in 5 more years. They're like my really good friends and they really like me. And all my friends who I told to do that, who didn't, they don't like me anymore. And they literally, it's hard for them to talk to me and look at me because I told them for months and years, dude, just buy one. Just buy 2, whatever. They're $200. Just buy them. I might be wrong. And so what really happened was my friends got split into 2 groups. Kind of the crypto degenerate friends that are still my friends today, and the non-crypto, we call them normies, okay? For those of you that are in the normie camp or the non-normie camp, that's the split. So my normie friends, I barely hang out with, I barely talk to anymore. My degenerate crypto friends, I talk to all the time. So I'm going to tell you this right now. My first several DeFi investments all went to zero. All of them, not Frax. Frax murdered it. So what I'm telling you is, do your own research. This is not investment advice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show everybody a sample of a stable to stable liquidity farming option. There's a lot of these, but in general, if you're really just starting off and you want to do this without losing thousands of dollars because you don't know what you're doing,
Just hire somebody.
yeah, you can hire somebody, but I'd rather you learned it yourself. You know, I mean, if you have millions of dollars and you want to invest into a fund, we've got great fund managers that are here, and it's literally $1 million minimum investment. A lot of you don't care. You know, some of you that are just getting started and just learning, it's probably not on your, you know, probably not in your, you know, plans. So initially, what I want to teach everybody is some ways to do it. So I have 2 different, what I call like starter websites to use. The first one that I absolutely love, disclosure, I'm an investor. Matt Rozak is the CEO. He's a very good friend of mine for many, many years. And the company is called Vesper, VESPER.finance. So the URL is app.vesper.finance. And from that app, you have a really, really simple way of scrolling down a list of different assets. One of those lists is USDT, Tether. Another one of the lists is USDC. And that's basically Goldman Sachs, you know, Circle, but they're stable coins. And I think right now Tether is paying close to 20% APYs, okay? I could be wrong. Thomas, what are they paying right now at Tether? 12 and a half, 15, something like that? Okay, and then the other option, it's a little more complicated because it's not what we call single asset DeFi. These are DeFi pools. So the other one is called Frax. And you know, Frax is very close to my heart. It's what got me into DeFi in the first place. With Frax, you have a stable coin literally called Frax, F-R-A-X, and you can take another stable coin, USDC in this particular case. You can set up a pool on the Frax website, and this thing pays, if you lock up your tokens for more than 30 days, what's that pay, Thomas? It's pretty high. Frax stable to stable? Minimum 20% annual APYs. Now, if anybody's got money in a savings account, if anybody's got money in a checking account, if anybody's got money in a money market account. When it really hit me, and I started to think about what I've been doing for the last 30 years of my life, trying to put money into a bank account of some type, trying to earn some type of interest, whether that's from a money market, a mutual fund, a hedge fund. I grew up hoping to make $1 million someday. And, worked and worked and worked and worked and, dreamed of someday being able to see $1 million. And the general banking system that we all live in, it gives you no chance to increase your net worth through their system, literally no chance. And so learning about DeFi, starting with stablecoins, I don't care if you start with $1,000 or $1 million or $10 million, it makes no difference. You're going to start earning annual interest rates higher than anything you've ever seen in your life with limited risk. Almost none. You have to get hacked. You have to lose your keys. You have to do some really bad, kind of really stupid things to lose it. And, there is a non-zero chance that somehow one of these companies were to, rug pull and steal your money. But it's really, really, really unlikely. And the chances of you getting involved in crypto, getting your first experience, getting into DeFi, actually successfully seeing these ridiculous rewards, it makes you realize, why do we need banks? Why would I keep my money in a bank earning literally nothing when I can just put it into stable coins, not take risk? Obviously, I'm long crypto. I'm impossibly, ridiculously long Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a number of different shit coins along the way. But in general, this is a nearly risk-free way to get started, learn about DeFi, and kind of get your feet wet.
So is there a minimum?
Not really. I would say because the Ethereum fees are so high still, you probably need more than $1,000 to kind of get started, just because the transaction fees are going to cost you $20, $30, maybe even $50 to use the Ethereum network. There's lots of great layer 2s. There's lots of great solutions like Solana, Cardano, Casper is an up-and-comer that will eventually, I think, help to prevent those fees from, wiping out all of our profits. But in the meantime, that was today. If anybody has questions, happy to answer them.
Anybody got any questions?
Contrast Celsius to Frax.
Great contrast. How do I do this? Okay. Celsius is really, really risky. Okay? Really risky. What you're doing with Celsius is, in essence, and it's the same with BlockFi, it's the same with Celsius, it's the same with, Genesis, any of those, they typically pay 5, 6, 7, 8%, but those guys are under terrible scrutiny today from regulators. There's a real chance that a Celsius or one of these other like front end guys is going to wind up getting shut down. There's a real chance that one of those guys is going to wind up, I think, in a regulatory bind that could cost you principal. So my personal feeling is diversify. don't put all your eggs in a Celsius or a BlockFi basket. You know, and more importantly than that, guess what Celsius is doing? They're taking capital and putting it with the Vespers and the Fraxes and like the front end DeFi protocols, and they're paying you a percentage of what they're making. So in essence, what I'm doing is for this class, I'm leapfrogging BlockFi and Celsius into the next layer of DeFi returns.
So Scott, real quick, add to that. Sorry, ask a question.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
If you're gonna borrow,
Hold on.
Hang on, there's a lot of people way over there.
Yeah, everybody can't hear you.
Sorry, I can't sing. So the difference between, from my understanding, Celsius and BlockFi worded theirs as interest, and therefore it could be considered a bank, and they got to follow under those regulatory rules. Celsius did not. It's rewards. What, as a crypto miner or anybody else that wants to pledge their Bitcoin and borrow USDC, where do you feel is the safest place to do that?
Wow, that's a really good question. Here's what I'm on video.
Text them later.
You can tell me later.
Yeah, so I mean, I honestly believe that all of them are subject to regulatory scrutiny. You know, some of them are playing fast and loose with the with the rules, and I don't want my Bitcoin sitting in in someone else's let's call it centralized wallet.
I agree, but what's the alternative? What's the recommended alternative?
You know, for me, I love using decentralized platforms. And so decentralized platforms, you know, like Frax and Vesper are, you know, great examples. And I also think, you know, if you have real money at stake, I genuinely like, you know, like I have, you know, at some point in time, I've put money into Celsius, I've put money into BlockFi, I've put money into Genesis, I've put money into Frax, I've put money into Vesper, I've put money into a bunch of different, you know, DeFi things. And eventually, it's too much to handle, right, for individual investors. So at this point, I would say, find a fund. Let the fund managers actually manage that for you. They'll put it into the proper market neutral strategies, and so if you have millions of dollars like some of our people in this group, then yeah, use funds. If you're just getting started, avoid the centralized things and start learning actual DeFi from the beginning. It'll go a long way to kind of taking you down this path.
Any other questions?
Let's drink.
Awesome, guys. Well, let's hear it for Scott, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for coming out and showing us, and thanks for coming out, guys. See you guys next week.